see if I can see everyone. All these lights. Oh my God. Thank you to everyone who woke up early and came out for this. I know there's so many exciting events going on and so many cool things in the evenings. It's hard to necessarily get up so bright and early in the morning to find out if you should make an NFT. And when I penned this little piece for CoinDesk 8 months ago now, it maybe seemed like more of a question than it does when you come to New York and see thousands of people coming to a conference about NFTs. You might think, of course, everyone should make an NFT. That seems obvious now. But I think there are really still some questions about whether you should make one, and if you do, how you should go about doing it. And that's what I'm going to be addressing today. And who am I that you should care what I think about NFTs? I've been creating digital artwork now for actually over 3 decades, and started the first fine art computer courses at Brown University and the Rhode Island School of Design, teaching people at that point, my more adult students, how to even use a mouse. When I began creating artwork, I had a Macintosh computer with a black and white screen and no hard drive, so that's how old I am. And to teach the course, I couldn't find materials that really had everything I needed, and I ended up writing a textbook called The Computer and the Visual Arts. So this took me 6 years of my life, and in the course of that, I met many of the pioneers of the early days of computer art, Frieder Naki, Manfred Moore, Vera Molnar, and realized that nobody was looking at their art in the traditional art world, and began with Michael Spalter collecting that work. And at that time, really, all digital artwork was kind of reviled. There was enormous hostility that is hard to understand if you come to New York today and see this conference and what people are paying for tickets and the excitement. It's really a sea change. So, but what are the challenges for artists if today you want to make an NFT? You might wonder, what is, this incredibly crazy world? Why is someone paying over $500,000 for an animated meme? And how would my artwork fit into an environment like that? And are there traditional art collectors in this world? If I have collectors, are they going to come in that space and buy my NFTs? And if not, how will I find collectors in the NFT world to buy my work? So my solution proposal is to really just take things one step at a time. So there will be a lot of terms, a whole new vocabulary of crypto speak, blockchain, tokens, minting, many things that you might think, what on earth do those mean? And especially when getting set up, it may seem overwhelmingly technical and complicated, and the key is just to go one step at a time and to have a strategy. So I think a lot of people jump in and they get excited, and after figuring out all of the technical stuff, sort of begin minting kind of random things, not thinking about the fact that these will be on the blockchain forever. So think carefully about especially what your first mint will be, the first piece that you put on, which in NFT nomenclature is called your genesis work. So that piece often is important. Collectors will be really interested in it. So don't grab some random file off your desktop just to test mint with. Really think about what that piece should be. And get involved with the community. So I don't think anyone has figured out all this stuff on their own. I know I didn't. I had help from so many people. And you'll find them on Twitter, not Instagram. So if you're a traditional artist, then you're mostly on Instagram. But if you want to get into the NFT world, then you have to hop on over to Twitter and Discords. You will find incredibly lovely, helpful, encouraging people. And then you'll also encounter, as you start to do this, some people that are not so thrilled about the NFT universe. So you might not know that from being at this conference where everyone's really super excited about NFTs, but I actually got hate mail from people, comments on my social media. You will have people telling you that you're destroying the planet and destroying the art world and everything that's bad about the 21st century if you make an NFT. So also be mentally prepared for people that are mostly very uninformed and reactive, but it's a little surprising as an artist to get that kind of hate mail when you're just trying to make a living. Just for those of you that haven't made an NFT and are thinking, is it too complicated for me and how weird is it? It's literally these 4 steps to get started. So you need to open an account on a crypto exchange like Coinbase or Kraken, and then buy some crypto. You attach your bank account, you move money from your bank account, you buy Ethereum or whatever blockchain money you're using. You go to MetaMask, which is not .com, actually it's .io, and download a Chrome extension that is your crypto wallet. And then you go back to Coinbase and send your newly bought Ethereum into your MetaMask wallet. And I have a document that's linked at the end of this presentation that takes you through that in some detail if you want to get started. But that's the overview of it. So it's not that bad. Did I mention the community? I think the community is really, really important. The traditional art world, I've met amazing people and friends, and there are fantastic communities within that world. And there's also a lot of really mean people and backstabbing and bizarre stuff that goes on. And I think one of the great things about the NFT space is the community. When you get on Twitter, if you post something saying, I'm new to this and I really need help figuring this out, you'll have all these messages come in and people responding and offering to help you. These were literally random things that I took off of Twitter while I was making this slide. So Coldy is a huge figure in the NFT world. He was posting something random when he woke up about Led Zeppelin, and I posted back and he responded. And I was thinking, that would never, ever happen in the traditional art world. You would never, on Instagram, have some, Jeff Koons post back to you in some casual way in a conversation. So it's really a different feeling environment. And just a note to those of you who are female identifying artists, there's also a great group of women in the crypto space, and there's going to be a really good panel in the next session that you should stick around for, who are very supportive of each other and always calling each other out and giving each other opportunities. So get on Twitter and get involved if you want to make an NFT. However, because, as you've seen, with these huge sums of money have flooded into the space, not everyone is your friend. So the artists are encouraging and wonderful, and then there's people that just see the money and think, how can I get some of that money? I think of myself as pretty sophisticated. I've been using computers forever. And one day I was multitasking and looking on OpenSea, and I saw this work. It looked like Kevin Abosch's work. He's a well-known artist in both the traditional and NFT worlds now. And I saw this price, and I'm like, I'm a genius collector. I found this work at this great price, and I clicked buy. And then later on, I looked more closely, and I realized, this was not minted by Kevin, even though it looks exactly like his work. And I realized I bought fake artwork. So it's very easy, and it's actually happened to me more than once, which is really embarrassing to admit, but I want to tell people because there's people doing out there that are really clever that will copy the exact image and text from someone else's mint and really make it look like someone else's artwork. So always be very careful. And just to let you know, the story ended up well because I contacted Kevin and I said, do you know someone's making artwork that looks like 99.9% like yours, that is basically fake versions of your work? And we became friends and ended up trading work, so it actually worked out well for me, so you never know. So it's like bad community, good community. And even really well-known people in the space have come out and said, you know what, I got scammed. And the other way is through social engineering, where someone contacts you and leads you through something that, in the end, you reveal some kind of information. So especially if you're new to the space, but even if you've been in it for a while, just always be really careful, and if you have any kind of weird feeling in your gut about anything you're being asked, especially if anyone asks to see your QR code of your MetaMask wallet, don't ever, ever, ever show that. So there's a lot of pros and cons. You get paid right away, which if you've been in the regular art world, you know is in and of itself a miracle and wonderful. You get royalties on your resales, which I think is actually going to change the traditional art world. You don't pay to ship things, you don't have custom. And for artwork that is interactive and natively digital, it's a fantastic platform. The cons, cryptocurrencies can be unstable. Elon Musk can tweet about something and the whole value of your artwork can change. I mean, it's very bizarre. You can lose your password or key phrase to a wallet and literally lose all of your money in NFTs and never be able to recover them. That's a very strange situation. So it's not like Bank of America where you call up and tell them your address when you were a kid and get a new password. And there are people that are not your friends out there as well that you have to watch out for. So should you take the plunge? Obviously, I'm kind of pro NFTs and digital art in general, so I think people should experiment, but have a strategy. Set aside a few hours to get set up and get started in the field. If the whole thing seems overwhelming to you, you don't have to jump in also. I think there's a lot of pressure, and because of the articles that have come out in the press and the amount of money, you feel like, oh my God, if I haven't made an NFT by yesterday, I'm going to miss something. But if it's going to be an important art area, it'll still be important next month. So my recommendation is to take time and have a strategy and take things one step at a time and do what's right for you as an artist, because there are many upsides to it. And I have a bunch of references that I know this is all being recorded, so you can follow up on these if you want. A really easy guide of how to get set up, some articles about the energy usage, and some different presentations with interesting information. And that's the end of the formal presentation part, but I got an extra minute or two, so I wanted to open it up for questions. If anyone has a question about whether they should make an NFT or anything, collect NFTs.
Where do you store your NFTs? You put them on an art wallet?
So when you buy them, they go into your MetaMask wallet if you're buying them in Ethereum. And then that's a great question, though, because once you have a bunch of them, they're worth money, and you might see people bidding on them, and they're increasing in value. And you could get social engineered out of them, or someone could attack your computer, and you could wake up and they could be gone. So it is good after you've accumulated some amount of cryptocurrency or number of NFTs to offload them onto a hardware wallet. And then it's pretty much impossible to get at them. Someone would really have to do a lot of different things to access them on your hardware wallet.
Do you still think the space is worth like minting a piece if your art isn't interactive, generative, 3D, or an animation? Like as a photographer, do you think like your art would still hold the same value against that type of art?
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a lot of still images that are fantastic online, and photography, I think, naturally works well. I think it's an issue sometimes if you're a painter and you just sort of scan your painting and put it online. I think it's less effective. But I think photography works well with the digital, and you might find that you're taking the photographs and doing something with them when you get more into the NFT space. But I don't think there's anything wrong. I think the whole spectrum works. Well, the traditional art world has not taken digital art seriously, basically ever. So they are actually starting to collect NFTs. So it took a while in internet time. I mean, really, in real time, it's been hardly any time at all. I think people have a fear of change and technology and the feeling that it's not, hand-drawn and made in a traditional way. There's just been this really historical hostility. But from what I am hearing, there are now traditional collectors that are starting to put money into this. And I think unlike the other digital art efforts that have happened, just the sheer amount of money that's poured in has really made everyone pay attention.
You had mentioned that this is recorded where?
Somewhere in the cloud to be advertised later on and accessible.
What would you say to the argument a lot of what we're seeing in the NFT space right now is mostly money laundering?
I don't know. When you sign up for a Coinbase account or something, you put in a lot of personal information. So I don't personally, if I was trying to money launder, I would not know how. So I know some people are doing it, but I don't think most people are.
Well, I feel like it's a big argument for what actually happens in the real art world as well, as far as
Yeah, I mean, I think the people that want to launder their money are going to do it in the traditional art world, in the crypto art world. I'm sure there is stuff going on. I don't have enough money to launder. So I'm sorry, I don't really know the answer to that. Is this an extra minute that I have, or is this overtime? All right. Guess we have time for at least one more question, if anyone has one.
What about women in the NFT world? We're seeing more and more, right?
Yeah. So I think there's actually a really great history of women in digital art. Women were the first computer programmers. Ada Lovelace wrote the first programming language. Women have come into digital art because there wasn't a history of male domination of the field as there was with, painting and other traditional fields of art. And there's just fantastic work being made by women in the NFT space. They haven't been the top people in the Christie's and Sotheby's auctions in terms of numbers, but I'm hoping that will change. And I think there's just more and more fantastic groups of women, individual women making really good things out there. So I'm hopeful that it's helping, rectify some of that imbalance.
And we have a great panel coming up, Women in Crypto Art, in just a few minutes. So
Stick around for
that's
that.
going to be a fantastic panel. Thank you.